G'day and welcome again to the Campfire Project. Today I'm having a chat with Paul Kefford. Paul runs a group called the Cecil's Hub, and he brings men together, helping men's groups to find out about each other and advertising what men's groups are doing. Welcome, Cecil.
Thanks a lot, Alan.
It's really great to have you here because I've been told about you by other people and they've given you a very big rap on the work that you've been doing and the passionate heart you got to help men. And I thought it'd be really lovely to have a chat with you and for others to find out about you and be able to support Cecil's Hub. Now, the name Cecil, can you tell us where that came from? Because it's not something that, it's not really your name, but it seems to be an acronym or something or other.
That's right. It's I initially had the idea of my hub, what could be called Menergy Hub or Men's Gathering Hub, Virtual Hub. When a good friend of mine from men's work suggested what I call it Cecil, after the name of a joke I tell at the gatherings, the cover gatherings. But I thought, well, who knows Cecil? What is Cecil the worm? People has to be the Menergy, they don't know it. So I created an acronym from the word CECIL, which means Committed to Educate the Community to Improve Lives.
Brilliant.
Which is my whole goal.
So what brought you into this sort of field of work of trying to help other people improve their lives? Can you tell us a little bit about you? Who is Paul Kefford?
It's a long story. As you can probably tell, I'm a POM, but a POM who's had an acquired brain injury and has got a speech impediment. So I hope your viewers can understand what I'm saying. I was born in the UK in 1965, so I'm now almost 54 in about 2 weeks' time. I had a serious car accident in the UK in 2003. I was a pedestrian trying to walk across the road, normal walk across the road, and I obviously saw the car that was coming towards me because I turned to face it, and it hit me below the knees and both legs. I had 2 broken tibias, went up in the air, landed on my head, got kind of scars on my head, and I was rushed to the local hospital. Luckily, a nurse coming from the emergency department was coming off duty and passed the accident and stopped to help me and gave me emergency life support, helped me to breathe. I was rushed to emergency hospital and monitored and taken care of. I was breathing issues, so I had a tracheotomy on the throat. I since slipped into coma from the head injuries and accident. I was in a coma for 5 weeks. No memories of a coma. My first memory is waking up and seeing my partner at the time and all the people around me, and I was saying, why am I here? I realised I was in the hospital, but why am I here? And I was told exactly what happened. Took about 10 minutes to tell me what happened. I fell asleep, woke up and said, why am I here? My short-term memory was trashed. When my partner at the time came into the room, she spoke and I wiggled my fingers and toes before I came out of coma. And she was told that might be the best it gets. But until I came out of coma, I didn't know what issues I was going to have. So I've spent the last 16 years trying to basically rebuild my life. I had my whole life ripped apart. My role as a husband, father, friend ripped away from me. Trying to find out who I am, who is Paul now, who he is, how he fits into the world, how he contributes to the world. In 2009, I separated from my wife at the time and met an Australian lady who's now become my wife, who's helped me through the last 9-10 years. Without her, I wouldn't be there much at all. So I moved to Australia in 2010, 2011. Totally away from my family and my friends, no contact, no social contact anywhere, apart from online. So I was really, really struggling to find out who I was and to talk to people.
Mm.
So my wife bought a magazine from a local coffee shop called Living Now, which advertised the first men's gathering in Victoria in 2012 called Menergy. I saw the article, read what men's gathering is about, was so impressed I got online and contacted Facebook and got in contact with people there and went to the first men's gathering in 2012. And from my memory, on the first Friday I got there, there was about 20 men all hugging each other and talking openly from their hearts, and I thought, this is weird.
Bit of a shock the first time round.
As a POM who we don't talk unless we have to. Very black and white, blunt. That's on Friday night, but Saturday morning I was sold. I loved it. To see how much they were getting from each man was getting from the meeting talking, how much I was getting from being able to openly talk. So I signed up to be on the committee for next year's gathering to help raise awareness of the gathering and get people involved. That was 2012. I've been on the committee for Menergy 3 times now to help raise awareness for next year's gathering. And for the last 6 years, I've managed the website for Menergy. So the current committee, organising committee, all I have to do is raise awareness to get bums on seats. They leave the website to me. I do it, all stuff, ticket stuff, and all maintain the website and keep information up to date. Since 2011, I've been in Australia. In 2013, I went back in 2 places. Double compression fracture of L2 back. I've had to wear a brace for 3 months. Quite severe pain. And then the last year, I fractured my heel and also fractured my femur. So I had hip surgery on my left femur last year and my hip. So it's been a constant issues. Get knocked down and get up again. So since 2015, 16, I've had the passion to try and give back to men's work for the benefit I've had. How much benefit I've had from it to help raise awareness of men's gatherings and men's groups and men's work to help other men see the opportunities and change their lives.
Yeah, and the fact that you've been through so much pain and still have this passion to help men, it just shows how strong working with other men can be in our own recoveries and making us feel a lot better about ourselves as well.
Absolutely. And without the support of my wife and my family, and then the additional men in men's work, I wouldn't be here today.
And so now it's all about helping those men back in return. So you've been involved in as you said, in that group, and you've worked with helping other men with getting their groups going. What sort of things have you done there? How have you really, you've given back to other people, but how do you receive yourself in what you do?
I'm involved with a men's group I go to on a regular basis. It helps me to basically debrief and get my issues in context. It's not too good the first gathering that you hear the other men talking and you think, they're telling my story. He's using my words, he's telling my story. It's not until then you realise that most men are going for the same issues. And having the opportunity to talk and share from your heart and share your journey, your story, you realise that you're not alone, which is where a lot of the issues become with the male suicide. Men just don't have an opportunity to know how to actually get in touch with people and to share and talk about their issues, what they're going through.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've always looked at is, well, I can sort of joke along with you about the POM and the stiff upper lip, because both my parents were English, and I got all their learning of be quiet, hold it in, be tough, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And when you do that for most of your life, it's difficult to actually change, and especially when you've got so much going on, you've gone through the coma and all the rest of it, you've had the injuries, to all of a sudden embrace the world around you and accept the men who are there. That would have been, I can appreciate it, would have been a bit of a challenge for you.
It's a challenge in first of all, being able to openly talk about my issues, but then also obviously to accept that I've got issues and I've got to change it. And the only person who can change it then are me. When my definition of men's work on my sites are, men's work is where men take charge and control of their own lives for the role models to support other great men. By being involved with other great men, it helps you, inspires you to change yourself and do what they're doing.
That's it. And I think trying to do things on our own is one thing, but when we do it in service to other people as well, it just gives it so much more power. Like some people are just saying, right, work on self-development, the best person you can possibly be, but that on its own is not enough. It's when you actually are in service and helping other people and the connection on a human level that it just gives so much more power to it again. It helps both the people yourself and the people you're dealing with.
That's right. And also, we always have these goals, societal goals, and from other guys, goals about where I should be, how I should be achieving. I should be hitting this mark and that mark. And we get so demoralised by thinking, I'm not doing as well as that man is, I'm doing as well as that person is. And it makes us sink lower and go into our hollow again. Whereas we can actually believe that you can see how other men are achieving their goals and doing well and rejoice. They might be hitting that goal, but as long as you're hitting the goals that you're setting yourself, and changing and making moves forward, it might be slow, but all the time you're moving forward, it's helping. You can't stay still. As soon as you start to say, I'm staying here now, you're going backwards.
That's it. Because if you're just plateauing out, then other people are passing you, you're really falling behind, as you say, you're going backwards. But staying in that state of mind, especially when you're going through a lot of physical pain and things like that, would have been really difficult.
At times it has been incredibly difficult. But I do to see the glass is always half full. I've got strong faith. For the last 20 years, I've had a strong faith, and it's helped me see a lot of things in perspective. I might be going through a lot of pain and struggles and sufferings, but compared to some people, I've got a blessed life.
That's right.
But it's not. You can see other people going through issues, but until you go through yourself, you can't really understand what you're going through.
That's it. It's like everyone feels that their problems are bigger than everybody else's, but when you're around a lot of people and you're listening and talking to them, you find out, there's always somebody worse off or has been through harder stuff. And to be able to watch them, especially the way you've conducted your life, you've been through all that, the coma, the injuries, and then to turn around and now to be so passionate about Cecil's Hub and helping other men, that's really commendable. It's something that I think a lot of the viewers who are listening to this can take a lot out of. It doesn't matter where you are in your life today, it's where you decide you want to take yourself to.
Yeah. The major issue I have is I keep going, keep doing it, keep posting on Facebook and sharing 100 plus 200 posts a week in around about 50, 60 groups who raise awareness for men's work and men's health. To try and share a message. I work 1 day a week in childcare, which I retrained when I broke my back. I retrained in childcare, which is, I love the work. I love working with children, but it's slowly killing me because it's up and down on the floor with children, my knees, basically, I stay with a knee replacement, arthritis in both knees. It's not if, but when.
Mm.
So getting up and down with kids on a moment-to-moment basis is bloody hard.
Excuse me for sort of smiling, because I just, when you said you were working with kids, I thought you'd have to be down on the ground, you'd have to be doing all this stuff, and after what your body's been through, how do you do it? It's quite an interesting choice.
Yeah, well, the choice at the time came up when I burnt back, and I was still trying to recover from the accident in 2003. I was in Australia. I couldn't retrain into IT because I've been out with IT for my specialisation within 10 years. So IT was changing all the time. I couldn't retrain because I was only a resident and not a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get any funding for retraining. And at the time, the opportunity came up for retraining in childcare because they needed people in childcare and childcare educators. They needed men doing the job because there wasn't many men.
Mm.
So the opportunity came up right place, right time. I'd done a 6-month course in education, children's educator. Done 28 days on a job work experience. At the same time, I'm still working now, 4 years now. On the best times, I was doing 3 days a week in childcare. But then finding by the end of the third day, it's taken me until more past the following weeks to recover. Get in the stage where I could do the next week. So I've cut down to 2 days a week, and now I'm doing 1 day a week. So now I'm doing 1 day a week, and I'm recovering enough to do the next one.
Yeah, so I find that really commendable, because one of the biggest problems we've got today is the lack of men around young children, especially young boys. They're growing up without that male role model.
That's right, no role models.
So to take that on is incredible, and to take it on with the physical state you had is hugely commendable. I take my hat off to you. Yeah.
And last year, after the hip surgery, I'd have so many fractures in the last 5 years. I thought there's something going on, so I got checked, and I've actually now been diagnosed with osteoporosis. I've got real bones. So anytime I fall, I'm a bit worried about what's going to happen.
And now, and that you've not been able to do that sort of activity, obviously then with the website and helping the men's groups, there's a way to keep your passion and your direction going forward.
Absolutely. And obviously the men's group directory is long-term goal, getting men's groups around the world online, so men locally can find a men's group to them. It started off initially was going to be Australia only, but because I'm a Palmer, I've got contacts in the UK. I made contacts now in the UK, Canada, and Singapore. So there's men's groups online now in those 4 countries. I've mainly added about 300 groups because I didn't want men to go online, search for men's group and find nothing. So I mainly added almost 300 men's groups around the world. Men's sheds in Australia, UK, Ireland, in Canada. So this says locally to them, there's some groups locally to them. Obviously, we've got to try to encourage more groups to register. It's free of charge to register on the directory. For men to search is free of charge, and for men's groups, existing men's groups, it's free of charge to register online.
That's fantastic. And so, with as you say, you've got so many different men's groups you're connecting together. How many people know about Cecil's Hub? How do you let people know that it exists?
At this moment in time, it's mainly through reciprocal links. I've got a links page on the hub with must be 100 links to men's health websites, and I'm reaching out to all those groups to get reciprocal link back to my site. I'm in contact with Men's Health Australia site recently, and they've added my link to their site, which is quite an achievement.
Fantastic. So any support you can get financially is going to be able to help your work. So I was wondering how you're doing everything with the small number of hours that you've been able to work each week.
It's mainly I'm relying on my 1 day a week, and I'm living quite frugally. I don't drink, don't smoke, but still managing to save each month, which is quite amazing. But I still want to, at some point, once I've got the websites more readily available to people, more known, I'll be looking to get sponsorship, advertising sponsorship from companies to try and raise funds. Obviously, the men's group directory, I've got, depending on the number of groups they've got, everything's free initially, but they want to advertise in the next events, articles, photographs, videos. When the next men's group's meeting, they got upgrade to a paid plan, which is based on the price breaks for the number of groups they got. 1 to 50 groups is one price. 51.99 is another price, and over 99 groups a lower price. So the more groups you got, the return on investment is more.
Good. So you're getting looked after when it comes to helping other men, because it's got to be a reciprocal arrangement. You can't just keep giving of yourself, which you've been doing for quite a long time. It'd be good to see you get some support in what you're doing.
But the basic price is $30 Australian dollars per year per group, which is such a small amount of 4 or 5 coffees a month.
That's it. When you're bringing groups together, and the people who go to those groups can benefit, you're helping a lot of people.
Absolutely.
What we'll do is we'll make sure that we put the links in this is in the comments, but so people hear it while you're talking. What's the best way to find Cecil's hub?
Absolutely. There's you can subscribe to a monthly newsletter where I give information what's happening in men's work the following month. I'm also working on an expression of interest form online where they can express interest on my next venture, which would be a workshop modality directory. And then I'm offering a workshop modality to help a person, male or female, become a better person, better themselves, can register on this directory to advertise what we're doing to get more people finding their services.
Fantastic. So whereabouts are you located physically?
I'm physically located in Lilydale, Victoria. But I walk 5k a day. I use public transport, trains and buses. I have a license but no car, so I walk 5k a day to get around. Even with arthritis in both knees, I still walk 5k a day.
See, this is what amazes me, and that is when I talk to people like yourself who have been through so much, but don't use that as an excuse to just sit and do nothing. Actually get up and get out there and are driven to help.
That would be the easy thing, is to sit and do nothing. But as I said, when I was waking from a coma in 2003, 16 years ago, I was weak on my toes and fingers. They said that might be the best it gets. And even after, I was told the first couple of years, anytime after brain injury, the first 2 years, that's the most progress you ever make. Which I've since learned from my own research and from medical science research, that you can make ongoing changes, developing changes to your brain injury ongoing. To rewire the circuitry in your head.
That's it.
Neuroplasticity. You got all the information in there, you got to find different ways to get at it.
And the brain will do that if you think in particular ways, those neuron connections and everything else, and you can rebuild your brain.
Yeah. It takes longer to do it and harder, the more effort to do it, get the same results, but the results are worth it.
Well, that's it. Now look at some of our highways and how long they take to do work on those. I think, the brain's a little bit that way as well. It takes a while to get there.
Yeah, the person I'm today is vastly different to the person I was even last year. In speech, in way I communicate, where I'm doing things, which is a great incentive for me to keep going.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad that, because I've been talking to a lot of men and a few people have been mentioning you, and I thought, well, we need to get together and have a chat, because what you're trying to do with Cecil's Hub is what I'm trying to do with the Campfire Project, where it's bringing all those men's groups together. So what I'd like, because I have a condition, anybody who's come in and had a chat with me by the campfire, if they have a project or something that's going to help men in some way or another, it's a case of don't worry about not thinking about putting it in the Campfire Project, put it in there. It's almost mandatory.
Yeah.
If you've got something that's going to help other men, put it in here. So
Yep.
that way, all the other men that I'm speaking to who are running their own projects elsewhere, they're connecting with all the other men around the world as well. So I'd really recommend to all the people who are listening today and that who have got projects that they want to get those advertised and get it out to more people, get in touch with Paul. With this video going up, his link there to his Facebook page is going to be there. And on that, I think there is also a connection to Cecil's Hub on there as well.
Which there's then links to the men's group directory, which is the subdomain of the hub.
Excellent. So that'll give you people an avenue of finding you quickly right now. And what I'd like, if you have any other links that you have, when we finish this, send them across to me and I'll make sure they go in the comments field so people can find you.
Wonderful.
Because I'd really like to help you. You're doing the same sort of thing that I'm doing. And the more that we can connect together with more people like you and myself, we're going to be able to do a lot more.
Absolutely. The passion is keeping me going. But the bottom line is I need to make some money to continue the journey.
Oh, that's it. You can't do everything. You can't just keep giving without receiving. And that's one thing when I quickly spoke to you the other day and from what other people were telling me about you, you've got a great heart, you're giving all the time, but I was always concerned or interested in finding out how do you survive? And the only way that you can continue doing that into the future is if you get some support from people.
Absolutely.
There's somebody wanting to get in touch with you already and we haven't even published the video yet.
Definitely. It's happened already.
There you go. Well, Paul, it's been a real pleasure having you on here today and let's keep talking. You know that we also have panel discussions, so if you want to come on to those and join in the conversation sometime, you're quite welcome to do that as well. So connecting on screen with other men and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge on the things that you've done as well.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. And to everybody else who's been here today, thanks for listening in. And as I said, get in touch with Paul. Find out how you can get your groups advertised and more, it's like out to more people, but also have a talk to him about how you might be able to help him keep going as well, because you can't do this stuff without support. You know, Paul, as you've said, you did that in the, by working with other people, you help to grow yourself, but in that you also then were in a position to be able to return to people to get as well. And this is how we create communities.
Absolutely.
So everybody out there, please get in touch with Paul and build a connection there. And it looks like he's in hot demand by the sounds in the background. So I'll let you go, Paul, and thank you very much for having been here today.
My pleasure, Alan. Thanks for giving me a chance to talk.
Oh, you're welcome. To everybody else, we'll see you on the next Campfire Project. Bye-bye for now.